Hey everybody, this is Steve Bailey.
And Cassidy Harris.
And you're listening to At Home in North Iowa podcast.
So what do you have going on in your business right now, Steve?
Well, listings go up and listings sell. That's been really, really fun over the this last week.
Gone are the days of burying. Remember when people would bury stuff in their front lawn? What is
like
that?
Like a gnome upside down?
Yes, Joe did that.
You did that.
St. Joseph.
Not
That's what it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. They're not burying gnomes, Steve. They're burying the St. Joseph. Yeah. You do that for good luck, right? And to sell your home. Literally, when I first got into the business, there was somebody that their house was not selling. Beautiful home. I was so shocked it didn't sell, but gone are those days. They buried it in their front lawn because they were so desperate. And actually, it sold. So, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I want to tell something funny about, tell me something funny that's happened in your business.
We're going to switch this off on you. Have you had anything funny happen to you in real estate in the last few days? I think I know of one.
Century 21 has a moving truck that you can use when you buy or sell with one of us from Century 21 Preferred. And I was at a closing the other day. My client was coming over to sign up for the moving truck and get ready to use it that day. And he forgot his deposit for the rental truck. And so I just said, well, I'll just go write a check for you and I'll just put the deposit down for you. Because if you bring it back with full tank of gas and obviously you didn't crash it or anything, you get it back and they'll rip it up. So I was like, I'll just put this down for you. So he followed me out to my van and I get in the van and I climbed in there. I was ruffling through some things in the back looking for my checkbook. And I look on the seat and there's what looks like an older man's jacket sitting on the back seat. And that's when I realized this is not my van. And my client was standing right behind me. I was just, it was so embarrassing. So I climbed out of the van and I think I swore. I was so shocked. I was like, oh bleep, this is not my van. And it was one of the more embarrassing moments of my life. I don't even know what I was doing, rummaging through somebody else's van. Like the thing I was rummaging through, first of all, the van was very clean. I have 2 kids and my daughter throws her empty juice box on the ground and stuff and it gets cleaned once a week. The van was super spotless clean. You would have thought I would have opened up the door.
Oh, not my van.
Yeah, exactly. And my seller told me when I was telling him the story afterwards that, hey, I just got in the van because I have the buyer seller. And he goes, did you not realize when you opened up the van that there was no car seats in there? You would have thunk it. But no, that was not the dead giveaway. What was the dead giveaway was the old man jacket. It was so embarrassing. So I told my client, I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to my van now and get the checkbook and then I'm going to go die. So I'll see you later.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really embarrassing? There's a doctor's office that sits right next to Century 21 Preferred. Those people were probably sitting in the waiting room thinking,
just watching.
Yeah, somebody is stealing stuff out of my van.
Oh, that's a good story. That's a good one.
Yes. So tell me a horror story. I really want to hear a horror story or a funny story or something. Anything that's happened.
I can't think of anything right now. I'm
wow.
So sorry.
Well,
lame.
So Steve Bailey is lame and amazing and nothing exciting will happen. He will get you through the transaction seamlessly.
Yeah. I will not try to break into other people's cars.
Yeah. Today, we're going to be talking with Emily Ginneberge from Main Street Mason City, and we're going to find out about events that are going on.
Yeah, it's going to be super excited. I'm super to chat with her. She does a lot of great things for downtown Mason City. She's going to explain about what Main Street Mason City is and what she does.
And you're on the board.
I am on the board
of Main Street Mason City.
I am, yes.
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
So that's
pretty new on it. I've only been on there for about 3 months, but yeah, I'm really excited. It's a fun board. It's a very active board, so I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's hear her out.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We're super excited to have Emily Ginneberge on our podcast today. She is the executive director of Main Street Mason City. Welcome, Emily.
Hey, thanks for having having me. This is super exciting.
We're pretty excited. So you're our second guest. So you're going to be our second podcast.
Okay, so Emily, how did you get involved in Mason City? Are you from Mason City, and how'd you get involved with the organization in the job you're doing now for them?
Sure. So I actually am not from Mason City. I'm not from North Iowa. I'm from kind of the Quad City area, but born in Dubuque. I have a lot of family in Dubuque, and about 7 years ago, my husband transferred to work for Mercy, and that kind of got me looking here, and we were both kind of offered a job in the area within 1 week of each other. So we figured, YOLO, like this is probably not going to happen. I think it's kind of meant to be. We're moving to North Iowa.
Yeah.
We only came about, it was like 2 or 3 times before we actually moved everything here. And I'll tell you that first visit, one of the things we did is we drove to downtown Mason City. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. Because I feel like you can really check a pulse of how a community is doing by checking out what their downtown looks like because they're really the heart of the community. So we did that. My husband's a fisherman, so he wanted to go see what the lake looked like. But started with, I was in the private country club business for a really long time. So was my husband, and saw the opportunity to both come here. And then some of the folks that I had worked for at the club were volunteers of Main Street. And they were like, this is really cool opportunity. We think you'd be good for it. You should apply for it. And so it kind of just worked out. And some of those folks are still my volunteers. And so I always say, you never know who you're going to, need as a resource or to connect the dots there. And that just worked out really well. So I worked in the private club business for like 15 years, but always wanted to find a way to get more connected to my community. But working like nights and weekends and holidays didn't really give me time for it. So when this opportunity came up, it just felt right. You know how sometimes you just get that feeling when you know it's right.
Yeah.
I get to work with some really cool people.
So tell us a little bit about Main Street Mason City and kind of what you do, what your job is.
Sure. Well, that is that's a long blurb here. It's hard to explain it, but Main Street Mason City is part of a national organization, Main Street America. So there are Main Street communities all over the country, and we're overseen by our state program, which is Main Street Iowa, a really cool group of folks in Des Moines that we get to work with. But our program focuses on our downtown districts. We really wear a lot of hats as Main Street directors and as Main Street community. It's a value to our community to be designated as one. It's not an easy process. It's actually quite hard. Like there's a lot of steps to really go through the process to get it designated. Luckily, we had some really cool, dedicated individuals in 2004 that were instrumental in making our community a Main Street program. But what we do is we focus on 4 points. It's really they call it the 4 points in the Main Street program. It's design, organization, promotion, and economic vitality. So whether that be bringing in businesses to our downtown, providing support for our small businesses that are existing through a variety of different resources, free as a Main Street community, historic preservation piece, also promotion piece is to bring that foot traffic downtown, to bring that spending to our local small businesses. Anything you can think of for like downtown, thriving downtown arts, branding, making our downtown a destination, a really livable, walkable community that people want to be proud of. It helps people move here. It helps people stay here. It helps people visit here. All kinds of things is really what we do through the Main Street program. But really at the heart of it all is promoting our downtown and our small businesses and doing that as a benefit to the entire community.
So being an advocate for those small town businesses is definitely something that I've seen that you guys do, whether it be through, you could be walking by a business and be like, oh, there's a grant opportunity for, a new facade or something like that.
Absolutely.
And then you reach out to them and say, hey, there's an opportunity here. You should check it out. And that's pretty exciting because if we just had Melissa Fabian on,
Love her.
Simply Nurse.
Yes.
And, the transformation of that building when it's
Yes.
complete with the upstairs, the downstairs, everything is going to be really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely some options still available in that plaza area for, new
Absolutely.
businesses to come.
What Melissa did with her business and that building is literally like almost kind of encapsulates what we try and do as a Main Street program, and what we're trying to do as Main Street programs all over the state and the country. Typically, if you're driving around the state or you're out of town and you drive into a downtown, you can almost kind of tell which downtowns are main streets, because those are the ones that are kind of they're vibrant, they shine. You're like, oh my gosh, this is a really cool downtown. I don't know, 20 years ago, downtowns were dying. They were really kind of just a pass through. And even before that, Main Street, the national program came around in the 80s, but they recognized that we need to respect our history, and we need to find a purpose and breathe new life into our downtowns and really make these, the heart of the community. And that's really what it is. So Melissa doing that project, we are so excited for her. We couldn't be more of a cheerleader for her. And we want to do it for anybody else that has that ambition or has that passion or desire to bring a business downtown for sure, or purchase a building.
Okay, so Melissa, that was on our last podcast, had mentioned something about a survey was sent out to see what community members might want in the downtown. Could you tell us a little bit about that survey?
Yes, because the survey has actually been being brought up a lot just even recently, but it was a hot commodity even when it came out just last fall. As part of the Main Street program, we are eligible for different programs through our state and national partners. And one of those is working with the Downtown Professional Network. This is a nationwide professional network that helps with these types of studies, and it's called Ready to Recruit program. You have to apply for it. It was funded through the state, so this is a $15,000 value that was brought to our community that we won through this grant program to participate in. And we work with these professionals in the state to delineate what we had as assets, what like Esri report findings, like where our traffic was coming from, what were we missing in our district, what would we have a surplus or overages of, and then after we kind of did that process, we sent out this survey. It was called the Top Prospect Survey, and really it was like, everybody in Mason City, North Iowa area likes to tell us what we want. Now's the time to do it. Here's a questionnaire. You guys want to see really what it is you want? Tell us now, because we're going to make this happen. And we are. And out of that process, we had almost 2,000 respondents, which is really amazing. It's actually one of the highest survey responses they've had with this program in the country. We like to set goals. We're a little competitive here.
It's good.
It's okay. Yeah.
We're the best.
And then we like to toot our own. We should toot our own horn more often. That's what they said yesterday, right?
Yes.
Toot your own horn more. And Melissa's business model that she came actually really encapsulated several of those top prospects that we got from that survey response, which was the healthy grocer, healthy
grab and go,
all of those things. And Melissa actually participated in that program because she was our board president during that term. The city administrator Aaron participated in that, and several other folks with our organization and outside of our organization. And the survey actually just was referenced in the city council meeting with the new developers of the plans for the mall and the hotel, and gave us some kudos for providing that information, because it's been very helpful in bringing in some of that those new things that you're going to see in the Southbridge Center. So we're excited to be able to provide that information to anybody that would like access to it. Absolutely. Just contact our Main Street office. We have the full survey response. It's like 30 pages. You're welcome to any of that information. So if anybody's interested, definitely reach out. We want to help however we can.
That's what I was going to ask you next is there anything you can tell us from that survey that besides the organic or healthy food store that people might have wanted in our downtown area that we don't have currently?
Absolutely. So they kind of broke it down in a few different ways. And part of that was per our request, because we had wanted to see that kind of entertainment and activity. Is there something that we can capture? And we're going to do it, you know? So there were opportunities for retail establishments, was that specialty food store Melissa told you about, but also a bookstore. And it really, in that survey, breaks down like exactly what people responded with and how they responded with, if they said bookstore, you know, whether they wanted to see used books, new books, things with authors. But even Melissa, again, from that survey response, she's got a gal that has been, I think Oprah does one of her favorite podcasts. I think she was saying the other day, she's coming in August.
I haven't heard about this.
She's coming in August, and she's going to be doing a book signing.
Oh, cool.
At Simply Nourished. So like,
Oh, that's awesome.
yes, and even our existing businesses can capture if we're missing something in our market, they certainly should be using these findings to kind of bring in a new niche or a new space in their business if it fits to capture this stuff. So it doesn't have to be new business. It can be existing business looking to capture this target market that we're missing out on. Outdoors was another retail establishment. I think we've got a Denham's coming in shortly, so that will probably be super helpful with that. I know, especially even just with like hockey is so big, even more so now in the community. Having that space to be able to go and get some of that stuff locally is going to be super helpful. And then women's retail. I mean, I'm sure, Cassidy, more places to shop. Our husbands are probably like,
Yeah.
how'd your kids, how'd your credit cards?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was really cool because I just actually did a show. I did a tour, not a tour, but a showing with a new business that's going to be coming hopefully into our downtown and showcase some vacancies in our downtown space today. And this information is shared with her so she can kind of utilize that for her new retail business model. And like it'll tell you like the top features and just the retail that people were saying that they wanted to see was casual wear, athletic, and active wear. You see Mormons now, they started carrying Lululemon.
What? I've never heard of Lulu.
Oh, it's huge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do not come after us girls about
Sorry,
yeah, they're like really expensive yoga pants.
Yeah. People have closet fulls. That's
Right.
funny.
Yes. They've got like a cult following.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat to have that, you know, for Mormons to take that leap and bring that brand to Mason City, you know, like that makes a huge difference because people will literally travel from Charles City, from Rockwell, I mean, maybe even further than that to come to check out that Lululemon stuff. So
And
we should have Scott on the podcast sometime.
You should.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, he's good to talk to.
Yeah.
He actually just said, I just stopped and talked to him yesterday, and he said that it was funny. They had when they announced the Lululemon, they had a lot of the high school girls were like telling their parents when they heard the ads that Mormons was carrying Lululemon. So they captured this whole new market with this, just carrying that line.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Entertainment and recreation was another one. A lot of family indoor movie theater, which we're seeing is going to happen. Adult indoor entertainment, and then the city market, which Melissa's kind of captured with that kind of farmer market feel, but she's also partnering with a lot of the local folks to do some really cool things as far as that indoor market part. So again, bakery for eating and drinking establishments, pizzeria and grill. I mean, there's so many cool people I've been talking to about pizza.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love pizza?
I know. I feel like anybody is going to really succeed if they bring pizza business in.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's been very helpful. And I reached out to actually the Downtown Professional Network just a couple weeks ago and our partners at Main Street, Iowa. And I was like, okay, I think we might have hit another record. I think we just checked all the boxes. And what's next? You know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, what can we do?
Definitely.
Yeah, you're going to have to come up with something the next step because we kind of just finished it out.
Yeah,
but,
make it harder this time.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So pretty exciting. I know there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So
Yeah.
which makes me talk way more. I'm like,
No, we love hearing it.
So to hear you talk more, can you talk about some of the events that are going on this summer, some of the big changes that we have for this summer?
Yes. So, you know, obviously there's been this big new development in downtown. There's more going on, but the arena, right, which is the multipurpose arena. Hockey has already been killing it, and now it's kind of that more multi-purpose usage, right? So we're having all of these concerts going on, MMA fights, all kinds of different things, which is really cool. And part of that is now we've got cool stuff that's going on at the same time, which is a good, I mean, it's a good thing. And it's caused us to get a little bit more creative because we're thinking, okay, we don't want to compete. We want to add value. What can we do to kind of maybe break things up a bit? So on the same night of our Friday Night Lives, which is kind of our summer staple, they have concerts going on, so which is awesome.
At the event center?
Yeah, at the arena. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's right next to where we hold our events. So we're like, let's start a little earlier and bring people down a little earlier. We're going to have a lot of people traveling in from out of town for that concert. So let's really show them that downtown Mason City is like where it's at and do some really cool stuff. So we're changing things up. We're starting earlier. We're going to be kind of more like the pre-party. And I'm hoping to see this kind of grow into more of like even like street fest over time, where we just keep expanding. You see all these cool things happening in like Ankeny and Ames and Des Moines, and people go there specifically for their market and things like that. You were telling me, actually, Steve, what you were telling me about, was it Rochester?
Rochester.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Live in Rochester.
Yeah.
Kind of getting that vibe in Mason City. So before on Friday Night Live, there used to be the big stage was set up and the music was going. I think the music's going to be scaled back a little bit. It's going to be more acoustic, and so you can go there at noon and go and eat lunch maybe from a food truck or any of the local vendors downtown.
Yep. Yeah.
And then chill out outside, listen to some music, and then go back to work, and then come back, and then pre-party for the concert,
Yeah, so it was time to kind of like freshen things up a bit anyways, and this just was like, okay, this is the opportunity.
Originally when it was brought, it's like, oh no, like we're conflicting, boom, boom. And then instantly it was like, well, how do you mate these two together?
Yes.
And I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. And everybody was super excited about it. And I liked that too. It's like, it's not a problem. It's an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And so it's exciting to have all of these things going on. It's good for our downtown businesses. It's certainly good for our community, bringing all of this extra tourism spending in. So that, what's good for one is good for all. We're super excited to be part of it. But lots of other cool things that we'll have in the lineup. Band Festival is coming up. That's not our event, but that's a staple. That's coming up Memorial Day weekend.
And they are doing that this year.
Yes,
that's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the buttons at the chamber.
Did you love that?
I did. They were wearing masks and on the buttons.
They're the kind of it's like first responder kind of pull through, which I loved that angle. I thought that was so cool. Yeah. And they're gonna have a highlighting of first responders during the parade, which I think is really cool as well. Those frontline workers, which I think is like, I don't know. I give myself the goosebumps.
I know. I was just going to say, I'm sitting here with the goosebumps because this is so cool that Mason City is trying to offer so much more for their community members. It's a really cool feeling that you're a part of a town that's really trying to be more up and coming.
It is. You guys, it's so cool. Just even that reiteration from Main Street America and our state partners that they visited yesterday, they're like, I think the first thing she said when she sat down with our board, which Steve is on, is, wow, Mason City is about to blow up, and I cannot wait.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps again. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know if we were going to talk about this. I'm really excited about the
Oh my gosh. We can talk about this for hours. I'm so excited. Yeah. I was like, kudos. She was like just floored. And actually throughout the day, I was like, so I packed her schedule yesterday.
So background, what was yesterday?
We actually had the opportunity to host our national partners for the first time in our downtown. So it's big. It's been something that's been in the works for a while. We had kind of revisit the schedule with COVID and stuff, but we had Kathy from Main Street America fly in from
New
Hampshire for a visit. And I think we're the second community. They're going to do kind of a statewide tour where they're hitting up half the Main Street districts in the state. There's 55 in the state of Iowa. But we were the second, and we did a kind of a pre-talk, like kind of gave her a little fill in what's going on. I was excited for her to come, make sure we kind of just chatted over the agenda. So I'd asked her, knowing that she talked to all the directors around the state that she was visiting, I said, who are you the most excited to come visit? Like, who are you really looking forward to? So what community are you looking forward to seeing in Iowa? She goes, to be honest, Mason City. She goes, after I got off the call with you, I couldn't wait to get there. She goes, I was so excited and so intrigued. She goes, and getting here, she's like, it's so much more than I even thought it was. She's like, it's so cool. All of the projects that we have going on, we really have an incredible crew of people in our downtown, just the business owners, but community partners that are willing to like just step up when we have a visitor that's important like this come to our community.
So she had done a walking tour.
Yes.
And got to visit some of the downtown stores and Music Man Square and the
We told
rivers.
her story.
Yeah.
We told her our story.
And then we had a wrap up meeting last night, and Kevin Sullivan and myself met with her earlier in the day, and so then we all got together at night as a board, and of course Emily and the two of them were there, and she literally lit up when she started talking about Mason City, and was talking about how the way that we have done things in Mason City, she's going to implement that throughout her entire program through the whole U.S.
She's like, I can't wait to share this with my national partners, because she's like, I can see an invitation coming to Mason City for you guys to come to our national conference and present what you guys are doing in our community at the national conference, so other communities around the country can kind of duplicate. Because we always say in the Main Street community, R&D, like rip off and duplicate. You don't ever like recreate. See what's successful in other communities and how can you do the same in yours. And a lot of other communities are having these same issues and they just haven't found the way to resolve them yet. And she's like, you guys are doing it, and it's just so neat. She was so excited. I think after you guys left last night, she's like, oh, I think I'm going to come back on Saturday. It's her first day off. So she has the weekend that she'll be still in Iowa. She's going to come back because she didn't get to spend enough time here.
That's so
I thought that was so cool.
What was she most excited that we're implementing here that other places maybe aren't implementing?
Well, it's not even just things that we're implementing, but it's our community partnership and it's our collaboration. Even the branding, she said, like,
she had used the Main Street Mason City logo for years. And she didn't actually know it was Mason City.
Oh,
so
really?
just the logo, which if you've never seen the Main Street Mason City logo, it's really neat because it just encompasses all the special things we have in our town. But she said, I think one of the things that she was so impressed with, and this is a testament to our city administrators, is the involvement that we have with our city and how they truly are a partner. Main Street's not a hindrance on them. I mean, they want to support and make sure that things are going forward. And I think she touched on that quite a bit. That seems pretty rare.
Right. Because apparently it's not always as cohesive, which is crazy because it just seems like that's like the only way to really make things happen like we are, right?
Yep.
And I guess that's kind of just the proof. But the city, we're so grateful that they see a value in our program and that they're such strong partners. They really, every time we have something like this happen, they always step up and really, lend their time to these other partners throughout the country and the community when they come and share this with them, and they're excited to. So we're lucky to have the city as a valued partner, but even just our other partners with Visit Mason City, Park and Rec Department, the Chambers, the EDC, the North Iowa Corridor, the SBDC, Papa John. But we have so many cool organizations that are doing so much cool stuff and they just want to help, which is really amazing. Yeah. So if you're a business or somebody that's in this area, you're lucky. You're welcome.
And you're a great resource. So if you are a business, in Mason City, even outside of the downtown area, they can probably reach out. I mean, you have resources for them.
Sure.
Anywhere outside of Mason City. So tell me a little bit. So you're a nonprofit,
right?
So how do you get your funding?
So actually, as part of a Main Street community, part of the agreement with the state is that the city provide funding for our program, and they don't dictate how much or how little, but the city does help provide some of our funding, just like they do with some of our other organizations that bring in components to our community. But everything else is privately funded. So that would be through private donors or sponsorships. That would be through events that we hold that make money. Not all of them are. Some of them are just free community events because, we just want to party with you. But we privately fund our organization through that fundraising process.
I was thinking about this when you said that you're doing a tour with somebody to show them some of the vacancies downtown.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody calls in and they say, "Can I see the survey to see, because I want to start up a business and I want to see what the best business is to start up downtown."
Sure.
What tools can they get from Main Street Mason City to make sure that they're successful when they open up their business downtown?
Okay, so we offer a ton of different resources. Not only can they look at that survey, but we also have a virtual map that was created as with the city that they can go on. They can see the vacancies. They can see the relation of where it's at into residential space, commercial space.